Today I'll talk about project management. It is part of operations management. But before I start, I'd like to tell you that whatever job is entrusted on you, you should feel the ownership of the job and do it with passion. Because if you do with the passion, you will do a better job. Now, question is, you will not be a project manager or head of the project initially. It will take many years before you go to those positions. So you will be doing only a very small part of the full project. But that does not mean that you will not be serious and they take ownership of the job. Whatever little job is given to you, you must think that I must put my signature on it so that everybody knows that I have done this job. Now let's go the theoretical portion of that. Project characteristics. There are single unit. There are many related activities, difficult production planning and inventory control, general purpose equipment, high labor skill. Example of the projects, for example, building construction is a big project, research project. Project organization works best when work can be defined with a specific goal and a deadline. The job is unique or somewhat unfamiliar to the existing organization. The work contains complex interrelated tasks requiring specialized skills. The project is temporary but critical to the organization. Management of projects, planning, goal setting, defining the project, team organization. Scheduling relates people, money and the supplies to the specific activity or activities to each other. Controlling monitors resources, cost, quality and the budget. Revise plan and shift resources to meet time and cost demand. Project management activities, planning, objectives, resources, work breakdown schedule, organization. Scheduling, project activities, start and end time, network. Controlling, monitor, compare, revise and action. Project planning, establishing objectives, defining project, creating work breakdown structure, determining resources, forming organization. Often temporary structure uses specialists from entire company, headed by project manager, coordinates activities, monitors schedule and cost. Permanent structure called matrix organization. A sample project organization, president, then human resource, marketing, finance, design, quality management, production. Under then project managers, mechanical engineer, test engineer, technicians. And again project manager also may have electrical engineer, computer engineer, technicians, etc. The role of the project manager, highly visible, responsible for making sure that all necessary activities are finished in order and on time. The project cost is within budget. Project missed quality goals. The people assigned to the project receive motivation, direction and information. Project scheduling, identifying precedence relationship, sequencing activities, determining activity time and cost, estimating material and worker requirement, determining critical activities. Purpose of the project scheduling shows the relationship of each activity to other and to the whole project. Identifies the precedence relationship among activities. Encourages the settling of realistic time and cost estimate for each activity. Helps make better use of people, money, material, resources by identifying critical bottlenecks in the project. Project management techniques, Gantt chart, critical path method called CPM, progress evaluation review technique called PART. Project control report, detailed cost breakdown for each task. Total program labor curves, cost distribution table, functional cost and hour summaries, raw material and expenditure forecast, variance reports, time analysis reports, work status report. 6 steps to a foolproof project plan. Step 1, identify and meet with the stakeholders. A stakeholder is one who is affected by the result of your project plan. That includes your customer and the end users. Make sure you identify all stakeholders and keep their interest in mind when creating your project plan. Meet with the project sponsors and key stakeholders to discuss their need and project expectations and establish baseline for project scope, budget and timeline. When create a scope statement, document to finalize and record project scope details. Get everyone on the same page and reduce the chances of costly miscommunication. Step 2, set and prioritize goal. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Once you have a list of stakeholders' needs, prioritize them and set specific project goals. These should outline the project objectives or the metrics and benefits you hope to achieve. Write your goals and the stakeholders' needs they addresses in your project plan, so it is clearly communicated and easily shareable. But everything is important. If you have trouble prioritizing, start ranking goals based on urgency and importance of check out these helpful decision making tips. Step 3, define deliveries. Identifying the deliverables and project planning step required to meet the project goals. What are the specific output you are expecting to produce? Next, estimate due dates for each deliverable in your project plan. You can finalize these dates when you sit down to define your project schedule in the next step. Set firm milestones for essential deadlines and deliverables. You will be able to track your progress once work begins to ensure you complete task on time and keep stakeholders happy. Step 4 is the creating the project schedule. Look at each deliverable and define the series of tasks that must be completed to accomplish each one. For each task, determine the amount of time it will take, the resources necessary, and who will be responsible for execution. Next, identify any dependencies. Do you need to complete certain tasks before others can begin? Input deliverables, dependencies, and the milestone into your Gantt chart, or choose from the many online templates and apps available. Be sure you also understand to write a project management report for a summary overview of the status of the project. Involve your team in the planning process. The people performing the work have important insight into how tasks get done, how long they will take, and who is the best person to tackle them. Draw on their knowledge. You will need them to agree with the project schedule and set expectation for work to run smoothly. Identify issues and complete a risk assessment. This is very important. When developing a project plan, you should know how to manage risk in a project and consider the steps you should take to either prevent certain risk from happening or limit their negative impact. Conduct a risk assessment and develop a risk management strategy to make sure you are prepared. Tackle high-risk item early in your project timeline, if possible, or create a small time buffer around the task to help keep your project on track in the event of a delay. Present the project plan to stakeholders. It's important you understand how to present a project effectively. Explain how you plan addresses stakeholders' expectations and present your solution to any conflicts. Make sure your presentation is not one-sided. Have an open discussion with the stakeholders. You need to determine roles. Who needs to see which report and how often? Which decision will need to be approved and by whom? Make your project plan clear and accessible to all stakeholders so they don't have to chase you down for simple updates. Housing all project plan data in a single location like collaboration tool, make it easy to track progress, share updates, and make edits without filing your calendar with meeting. If your plan or schedule does not align with the stakeholders' original expectations, communicate that now to avoid any nasty surprises or tense conversation down the line. Rather than telling stakeholders their expectation or request is unrealistic, tell them what required to make it happen, including how much time, money, or manpower. Let them decide if it is worth dedicating the extra resources. Today I take the liberty of showing you a video lecture.
As you may already be aware, there are 4 stages of the project lifecycle, namely initiation, planning, execution, closure. And in this video, we will discuss these stages in detail, including what these stages are and what are the steps taken during these stages. Let us begin with initiation. Business need, problem, or opportunity is identified in this stage. Ways to meet this end, solve this problem, or seize this opportunity are brainstormed. The objective of the project is figured out, feasibility is determined, and major deliverables are identified. Project management steps for the initiation stage include identification of the problem which your project will solve and make it certain whether your project will be able to deliver a solution to that problem. Identification of the scope by defining the depth and breadth of the project. Identification of deliverables by defining the product or service to provide. Identification of the project stakeholders by figuring out whom the project affects and what their needs may be, and development of a business case. You'll also develop a statement of work or a project initiation document at the initiation stage. The statement of work is the document that captures and defines all aspects of your project. You'll note the activities, deliverables, and the timetable for the project. It's an extremely detailed document as it will lay the groundwork for the project plan. Next comes the planning stage. The planning stage comes when the project is approved to move forward on the basis of the statement of work and the business case. In the planning stage, teams are built. The large project is broken down into smaller tasks, and a schedule is prepared for the completion of all the assignments. Smaller goals are created within the larger project so that each goal is achievable within the time frame. Project management steps for the planning stage include identification of the project timeline, the tasks which are to be performed, and the possible constraints. Creation of workflow documents to visualize the project timeline. Estimation of budgets and the creation of financial plans with the help of cost estimates. Gathering resources by building teams and making sure that everyone has the tools required to perform their tasks. Risk anticipation by identifying potential quality roadblocks. It is important to have everything outlined and explained to the team so that the team members can quickly get to the work in the next stage. After planning, we reach the execution stage. In the above 2 stages, we worked on receiving business approval, developing a plan, and building our team. Now it is time to start working. In this phase, we will turn our plan into action. The project manager makes sure that the work is on track. He organizes team members, manages timelines, and makes sure that the work is done according to the original plan. Project management steps for the execution stage include creating tasks and organizing workflows by assigning granular aspects of the project to the right team members, explaining tasks to team members, providing necessary guidance on how the tasks should be completed, and organizing process-related training if necessary, communicating with team members, clients, and upper management, and providing updates to the stakeholders at all the levels, monitoring quality of work, and managing the budget. And finally, we reach the closure stage. This is a stage where we provide final deliverables, release project resources, and determine the success of the project. In this stage, the project manager also evaluates what did and what did not work with the project. Project management steps for the closure stage includes determining whether the goals of the project were met and whether the initial problem was solved. Evaluation of the team's performance, including whether they were able to meet the goals, along with maintaining the timeliness and quality of the work. Making sure that all aspects of the project are completed, with no loose ends remaining, and providing reports to key stakeholders. Conducting a final analysis of the project, taking into account lessons learned for similar projects in the future. So these were the 4 stages in the project lifecycle, and the different steps taken at each stage.